Hello, and welcome to this week's version of Britain's favourite Sunday sermon. Now just take a step back. Have you noticed in the last couple of years, it's got a bit busy around about? Whether it's on the roads, on the trains. What about trying to rent or buy a home? Have you found that? Have you found rents going up? A little bit harder to see a doctor? And if you have to go to hospital, A&E, does that feel a bit busier to you? Trying to get a dentist appointment, any of this stuff to do with infrastructure, it relates to the size of the population. Well, I'm going to let you into a little secret. Yes, this is a big week for another bit of information from the Office of National Statistics. Look out for Thursday the 23rd, the data on the net migration number into the United Kingdom, people coming to settle here in 2023. Now, we already know the gross number is a city the size of Birmingham, about 1.3, 1.35 million people. What we don't know is how many people, in theory, it's a bit of a rough estimate, have left. My hunch is the net number is going to be about the same as 2022, somewhere between 700 and 800,000 people. What is that? What does that number represent? Well, it's about 2 Bristols in 1 year, net. Every year for the last 2 years. You just think, well, hang on, where do all these people go? So gross, we've got almost approaching 3 million people in just 2 years. Net, it's going to be 1.5 million, 1.6, something of that order. Who agreed with this? Let's just remind ourselves. What did the government say back in their manifesto 2019? They said the net number would come well below 210,000 per year. Instead, they've done exactly the opposite. In fact, in manifesto after manifesto, we've been promised by the Tories that they would bring immigration down into the tens of thousands. One Prime Minister promised, Lord Cameron. But now they've actually deliberately done exactly the opposite. They've deliberately opened the doors to mass immigration. And the other effect, of course, is that where you've got a huge extra supply of labour, and we're talking about relatively low-skilled, low-cost labour. Yes, big business might be thrilled to have that extra supply to keep wages down. But that's why everybody's feeling a bit poorer. Because not only have our taxes been going up, but wages have been relatively stagnant. Because, of course, you've got this vast influx of labour. Some of whom want to work, but actually some of whom are just happy to be a burden on our benefit system. This is a catastrophe for the United Kingdom. The quality of life is getting worse. We're now 2 years in to the longest recession per person, and that's the calculation that matters. That, by the way, that's the longest recession for 70 years on a per person basis of 2 years long and counting. All because we've been deliberately misled, deliberately lied to. And if you think that's going to change under the next most likely government, the Labour Party, well, they seem to be wanting more mass immigration as far as anybody can make out. They've been completely silent on this issue. So the quality of life is getting worse. Financially, it's getting worse physically because there's just so many more people and we haven't planned for it. We haven't built more houses to cope with it. We haven't employed more doctors to cope with this huge influx. It's extraordinary. I actually think that it's gross negligence. And then there's another element which has deteriorated, and that's actually culturally. The great British culture is being diluted because when people come to settle in the United Kingdom, surely it's not unreasonable to say, actually, you've got to sign up to our language, learn the lingo. You've actually got to sign up to our values of tolerance, of respect, of hard work, of compassion. But also you've got to sign up to our heritage and our history and understand that and appreciate that. And part of that is that as a nation, the United Kingdom's foundation is based on Christianity for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And so whilst we can welcome other faiths and those of no faith, anybody enjoying the incredible privilege of coming to settle and live and work in the United Kingdom and enjoy everything that we have to offer surely has to respect, appreciate, and understand that foundation of Christianity and accept that that will never, ever change. And so that we can live and enjoy each other's company alongside each other. That also means that actually we want to continue to operate not only on the English language, but also the English legal system. We don't want parallel legal systems. For example, Sharia law. That is not what the United Kingdom wants. So what I say to people is smart immigration, a wonderful, great thing. High skilled, high quality, people are going to come in to the United Kingdom, get stuck in, work hard, build a career, work within the community, help the community, maybe take some risk, grow a business. All of that is fantastic. But it has to be on the understanding that one integrates, one exists and lives under a single British culture, as opposed to what we actually now know has failed, and that is multiculturalism. We see it on our streets when you get these demonstrations from people who do not empathise with the idea of respecting other faiths. We see it when people don't learn the language and live in silos. That's not the way to build a unified, great British nation. Now, the smart thing to do is to integrate, to absorb in numbers that can be accommodated. What's happened in the last 2 years is actually we've had mass immigration that no one voted for. It's made us poorer. It's made the quality of life worse. And it's changing our culture, not for the better. I believe not only is that not the wishes of the British people, but fundamentally, it's got to stop. We've got to change course, and we've got to go back to working together under a single British culture with smart immigration, not mass immigration. Look out for those figures Thursday from the ONS. Have a great day. Here endeth my Sunday sermon.